Harry, you think Biden won last night?
1%.
Yeah, no, I did, definitely. On the substance of the conversation, Biden won. His policy was pragmatic, it was logical, and Donald Trump just lied the entire time. Is incapable of telling the truth, is incapable of actually laying out policy.
Gen Z Biden influencer Harry Sisson gets humiliated for his pathetic defense of Joe Biden on Piers Morgan's show, and it is simply hilarious to witness. All right, folks, welcome to today's video. If you enjoy the content, be sure to hit that like button down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. But the behavior of the Biden propagandists is becoming increasingly desperate and devoid of reality. And I think what you're in many ways witnessing at the current moment is an animal being backed into a corner. Everything is falling apart for Joe Biden. His cognitive decline is obvious to millions of Americans. And so what is the reaction of people like Harry Sisson? It is to get more defensive, to get even more desperate. And I think truly it is time to bring back a term from 2020, which is Blue Anon. And if you're wondering what Blue Anon is, it's kind of a right-wing play on QAnon that describes the outright cultish and delusional and oftentimes conspiracy promoting behavior, not of the Republicans, not of the Trump supporters, but of the left and specifically of the Biden campaign, especially here in 2024. Because to still be on board with Joe Biden and to defend his campaign and performance at Thursday night's debate is, basically impossible to do if you're living in reality. We all saw the debate that you saw, but that's why you're seeing increased amounts of propaganda, and perhaps no better example today than Harry Sisson, who I'm sure you are all familiar with. He is that Gen Z paid Biden influencer, and yes, he does directly and indirectly get paid by the DNC to make a lot of these videos where he's shouting about how Donald Trump just got convicted of a felony and look at Joe Biden, succeeding to walk up a stage. Oh my gosh, he's the best president ever. But this honestly exposes a lot about Harry, because it's one thing to be paid for your opinions. That has never been my attack against Harry Sisson is, oh, he makes money. That's the art of commentary. We all make money to some degree for sharing our opinions. One could argue that Harry Sisson makes more money than most, but still, props to him. That's the hustle. That's the business. That's whatever. The reason why I think it is now fair to perhaps label Harry Sisson to be a grifter is not because he makes money. Everyone makes money. It's because I genuinely don't think Harry Sisson at this point believes the things he is saying. And in the rare event that perhaps he does believe what he's saying, that just says a lot about Harry Sisson, because he went out after Thursday night's debate, the very debate that Joe Biden himself and Obama and Kamala Harris all admitted on national TV he did not have a strong performance on. And instead of saying, all right, guys, it was a weak debate, but maybe I still agree with Biden on the issues, Harry instead went out to say Biden won the debate easily. He laid out a vision, a goal, a future that Americans can get behind. Trump was angry, conspiratorial, and deluded. I once again have to come back to questioning the authenticity of this. Did he seriously, as a guy who's around my age, watch that debate and say, Joe Biden won? And if that's the case, well, let's hear him out. So he went on a panel with Piers Morgan to defend Joe Biden's performance in the debate, which is hilarious because they also had left-wingers Cenk Uygur and Hasan Piker on the show, both of whom said, yeah, I don't want Trump to win, but that was a terrible performance. But let's listen to the mental gymnastics of Harry Sisson explaining how everything is actually fine in Biden world. And he won the debate, according to Harry. Let's take a listen.
Harry Sisson. Harry, you think Biden won last night?
1%.
Yeah, no, I did, definitely. On the substance of the conversation, Biden won. His policy was pragmatic, it was logical, and Donald Trump just lied the entire time.
The problem you've got is I saw the CNN fact checkers on Joe Biden's public statements last night, and it was just untruth after untruth after untruth.
Oh, I'm not sitting here I'm not sitting here telling you that Joe Biden tells the truth every single time he speaks, or that he gets every single number right and every single statistic right.
He gets most of them wrong.
Right, exactly. And wait a minute, I thought your argument was Joe Biden told the truth. He shared the facts. But now you're backtracking. You're saying, well, maybe he didn't share the facts every single time. I mean, what? So you start to see Harry falling apart here a little bit. Deep down, I don't think he believes that Biden won the debate. He may believe to some degree that he supports Joe Biden. I don't deny that he's a liberal, but why don't you at least say what you believe? But I don't think he's doing that. And that's why I'm calling this out and saying, I genuinely think it's insincere. So, that's my take.
That's not true. To compare Joe Biden's lies to Donald Trump's lies is laughable.
Yeah, but the problem is, if you're going to use lying or misleading the public with statements against a candidate, you've got to make sure your own candidate speaks with unforked tongue. I mean, Biden, barely a week goes by without him saying something which is immediately proven to be untrue. I mean, only like 2 weeks ago, he was claiming that his uncle was shot down and eaten by cannibals. None of that ever happened. He wasn't shot down and he wasn't eaten by cannibals. I mean, I just think that this idea that Trump's the only one whose statements can't be trusted is just not true. Last night.
Yeah, but Piers, I mean, let's be real here. Like, if you're lying,
did you see the one where he said
one sec, Vinny, you look like a. Relax, buddy. If you're getting a number incorrect, right? If you're getting a number incorrect, that's like a very
so 7 years ago.
Hold on now, I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet.
10 years old?
Right there.
Were you 10 years old, Harry? How old were you when Trump won? 10 years old? 7 years ago, you were 10 years old. You look like you're about to explode. You don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Take a breather.
That's not
Hasan was right to call.
You have makeup.
He's entitled to his
Hasan, listen.
Biden was full of shit.
Can I just say, I don't actually care how old either of you are. Let's get back to the real reality, which is I care about the age of the president because he looks like he's 180. So, Harry, I'm just bemused. 33% of people watching it apparently think Biden won. I don't know. Harry, hang on.
Okay, so you can see it kind of gets out of hand. But that's the central premise of the Blue Anon conspiracy movement is Joe Biden doesn't lie. But then when he gets exposed for lying pretty maliciously, by the way, for example here, just to name a few, troops did die under Biden's presidency, number one. Number two, Joe Biden was not endorsed by the Border Patrol Union, and the Border Patrol Union went out and openly tweeted that was not true. And then perhaps worst of all, number three, Joe Biden is not a 6 handicap. Okay, can we be real about that? But anyways, so here's some more of Harry Sisson trying to defend Joe Biden's performance. And he tweeted this clip out himself saying, Piers Morgan asked me if President Biden is the right man for the job, and he ended up agreeing with me by the end of it. Now, in fitting Blue Anon fashion, Harry Sisson immediately was fact-checked by Community Notes on Twitter, as well as everyone who watched the video, because we'll play it in a second so you can see Piers Morgan never did this. Piers Morgan, as you'll see in this clip, never ended up agreeing that, Biden is the right man for the job here. And even Community Notes points out, Piers Morgan agreed about being positive and active, not that Biden is the right man for the job. So, you can see clearly here, Harry Sisson already taking after the very political tactics of his hero, Joe Biden, by outright lying and misrepresenting very basic things about, what's actually going on. So take a listen.
And do you believe, Harry, finally, do you believe in your heart that Joe Biden is the right person to lead the Democrats into the election in November? And do you believe he can win?
He can win. He's going to win. And as Vice President Harris said, we don't let a 90-minute performance negate 3.5 years of progress. Biden's the only man who is...
Wait, I thought Biden won the debate. So, Harry, did he win the debate or not? Because first you're tweeting out Joe Biden handily won the debate. Then you're saying, well, I'm not saying he got every single fact right. And then by the end of the interview, you're saying, well, I agree with Kamala Harris. 90 minutes shouldn't define his 4-year presidency, which, by the way, hasn't been very good. But I digress. So which one is it, dude? Are you Biden's press secretary or something? Because sure, it is like the job of Biden's press secretary to defend everything that, he does. But, this is kind of how like Harry is just an insincere human being here.
Beaten Donald Trump, and he's going to do it again. And I'm looking forward to convicted felon Donald Trump facing justice.
Why are you the only person I've heard in the last 24 hours who's not crying because the performance was so horrendous?
Because he's a shill.
on the Democrat side?
I don't know. You have to talk to the people that you're surrounded by.
I'm talking about Thomas Friedman and Frank Bruni and all the Democrats.
That's great.
All the Democrats supporting writers for the New York Times and so on. Literally all of them. Van Jones of CNN. They're all crying because it was so bad it brought tears to their eyes. You appear to have watched a pretty different debate. You're happy. You thought it was great. He's going to win a triumphant victory. No, he's not, Harry.
Well, again, this is the brain of the Biden blue anon conspiracy theorist. CNN, they must be MAGA. They must be Republican TV. MSNBC, who also said that it was a disaster and they were platforming the idea that Biden should drop out of the race. That's Republican talking points. The New York Times is historically a far-right Nazi column, as are everyone else who brought this up. Okay, so the entire mainstream liberal news media, including CNN, including CBS, MSNBC, NBC, New York Times, all these places. I don't know who you're surrounding yourself with because they're not Democrats. The brain of a blue non-conspiracy theorist. And again, folks, I will reiterate, Harry doesn't believe this. He's a shill, okay? He's a paid shill. And this is where you see perhaps the money getting in the way of his opinions. Because again, I don't think there's an issue with taking money for giving your opinions, but these are clearly not his opinions. Come on. Let's be real, folks. Let's be real.
Wake up.
Yeah, I don't have the mentality of like, oh, something didn't go our way. Now we have to pout and cry. I have the mentality.
Wait, again, okay. Sorry to keep pausing, but again, I thought it did go your way, Harry. You just said he won the debate. You said yourself, Biden won the debate. So what's going on here? All right? Like, what is going on here, buddy? So you went on an actual interview and you had to actually defend what you were saying and you immediately realized you couldn't. So now you're just like changing your stance? By the way, are your handlers at the Democratic Party going to be happy with you saying this? I don't know. But
if something didn't go our way and that's the way it's perceived, let's get to work. Get out there and get a clipboard and go get some signatures and go door to door. Don't sit here and sit in our own sadness. Let's get to work, as opposed to writing in the New York Times that it didn't go the way we wanted it to.
I agree with you. Actually, that is the right response, and I admire that attitude. So thank you for joining me, Harry. Thank you.
So let's go back to the beginning here. All right. Again, taking after the political tactics of Joe Biden, truly. Harry Sisson claimed that Piers Morgan agreed that President Biden is the man for the job. His own words. Did you listen to that 1 minute, 25 seconds that he posted himself? Nowhere did Piers Morgan say that. He did agree that, yes, if you're a Democrat, the best strategy is to keep fighting and move on from it. Sure, and that's objectively true. But you're just straight up making stuff up, dude. I mean, give me a break. Okay, here's the last clip we want to react to, and then that'll be enough of Harry Sisson for a day, because can he really even be taken as a serious person when he's just straight up, again, a shill? You know, oh, this guy represents what Gen Z really believes. Really? Really? Okay. All right, let's take a listen.
Problematic thing is not that he's old or anything. It's that he was incapable of either articulating policy in a way that resonated or holding Trump to account. And if you can't do that with a candidate like Trump, there's no hope.
Yeah, except Piers, if that was the method that Biden was...
Hang on a second, I'll come to you in one second. Let Harry respond to that.
Sorry.
Well, all right. What I was going to say is, if that's the method that Biden was going to go with, then all of his answers would just be fact checking Trump. Every 2 minutes he has to be like, okay, Trump lied about this. And that's not any way to win a voter over. Biden, I would think it's more of the moderator's job to fact check, as opposed to Biden dedicating his entire debate to fact checking. Biden should be laying out the policy, which he...
I can't with this. What are you even talking about? Okay? It's not the job of Joe Biden to fact check what Donald Trump says. It's a freaking debate. What are you talking about? And by the way, I don't know if you watched the same debate as us, but part of the debate structure is that the candidates get a rebuttal. What is the point of a rebuttal? To respond to what the other person is saying. And then take a listen to also what Harry Sisson said there. He says he believes it is the job of the moderators to fact check Donald Trump and not Joe Biden. And I'm seeing this take a lot from the coping liberals saying CNN was to blame because they didn't fact check Donald Trump in real time, even though if they did the same thing to Joe Biden, people would say the moderators are biased. But still, regardless, let's be clear about this. Like, I don't know if you've seen a debate or you did one in school, you know how it's supposed to work. But the job of a debate moderator is not to fact check the people debating. It's not to decide or provide a verdict on who is right or wrong. It is simply to ask the questions and ensure that the subject matter of the debate stays on topic and stays on track. That's the only job of a debate moderator. Okay. Now, again, I think that's pretty objectively true. That's why they're called a moderator and not a participant. But according to the Blue Anon people, no, their contention with CNN in their own admission is that CNN held a fair and relatively neutral, unbiased debate. And that is unfair to Joe Biden because it made Joe Biden look bad. Oh, you didn't fact check Donald Trump's lying. Yeah, Joe Biden lies too. But the overall point is that it's the job of the other candidate in the debate to respond to what the other one is saying. That's how a debate works. All right. I don't know. With that said, folks, let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comment section down below. What do you think of Harry Sisson embarrassing himself? What do you think of some of these Biden shills who are running the Blue Anon conspiracy theories in 2024? Be sure to let me know. Leave a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. And until next time, Alpha Moves Only. God bless. Have a very great rest of your day. In peace.